Welcome back to Desertwood Days, and I am here with the lovely Isha Cogborn. Welcome, Isha.
Thanks so much for having me, Kathy.
Such a pleasure. You wearing my favorite color today.
You know what? I was never a person for blue, but I figured out that jewel tones work for me. And so once I figured that
Yes.
out, now I got a closet full of
Oh,
it.
beautiful, beautiful. You know what? I have to ask you to show off those shoes too.
Oh.
Ooh, ooh, ooh! We got Cinderella in the house. Beautiful,
Now I'll
beautiful.
tell you, during COVID, I had to learn how to walk in heels all over again.
We all did. We all, I had time during the day I would do my practice to walk in my heels, and then I have tile through my house, so it made it even harder.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, these ankles aren't doing well.
Oh, yes, walking around here looking like baby deer.
Right. That's funny. Yeah, but you know what? COVID brought us some good things, and we're going to talk about that a little later.
Yes.
Also, we focused on all the negativity that COVID brought, but COVID taught us some things also this year and the year before.
Absolutely.
So, Aisha, you're an author, you're an entrepreneur, you do podcasts, you're a motivational speaker. You do a lot of things in our community.
I do a lot, and I sometimes forget how much I do until I look at it all on the calendar. I just got done looking at the calendar for 22, and it's like, okay, I got my hands on a lot of stuff, and I didn't realize it. In fact, 2021 was really excited because our business, we did more in this calendar year than I've done in the 12 or 13 years that
You
I've been
see
in
what I'm
business.
saying?
So
You see what
yeah,
I'm saying? For me, I like to say it this way. For some people, they got stuck. I mean, you can hear all the negativity of what was happening and what's going on with our world out here, and you focused on that negative piece of it and got stuck and didn't know how to become unstuck.
yeah,
And people like you just thrived. And a
yeah,
lot of people like you thrive. They found other outlets and other ways to manage their businesses.
yeah.
And I like to talk about some of those things that you did. But before we get to that point, I want to talk about the earlier Aisha. Aisha went to school and got a degree in broadcast and cinematic arts. So what was Aisha's plans with those degrees?
I tell you, from the time I was probably about 14, matter of fact, I can remember sitting in class and just I would have just these like visions of my life. And I would see myself like in the middle of it and what I was doing and what was around me. And I pictured myself having some type of platform that allowed me to really shine a light on people that were doing positive work. And this is a long time ago. This is like 30 years ago. I'm really dating myself here.
That's okay.
And at that time, there was no YouTube,
Mhm.
there was no social media, there weren't any of the things that do allow us to build our own platforms now. So that
Right.
path was news, was broadcasting.
Right.
And so I thought, okay, well, I'll go be a TV anchor
Uh-huh.
because I would always see in my city, I grew up just outside of Detroit, the TV anchors would come and they would MC the fundraisers or
Right.
they would do stories on things that were happening in the city and being able to really give that boost to a lot of things that were happening. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll go be a news anchor and then I can kind of lend that local celebrity to the things that I care about.
Right.
And then I got to journalism school and by my senior year, I was very active. I had a TV show, I anchored news, but I wouldn't put my demo tape together.
Oh.
And I don't know what it was. I just, oh, Aisha, you being lazy. But I couldn't push past this resistance. I wouldn't put it
Hmm.
together. And I finally had to admit myself, I don't like news.
Huh?
I don't want to do this. And once I admitted that to myself and released
Right.
that, then I was able to figure out what I would go do. And I actually ended up pursuing a career in corporate PR.
Okay.
But here's the crazy thing about it. I was working for a chemical company. I had a TV show. Who has a TV show
Show.
on at a chemical company? But I've just never been able to get away from it. And fast forward to today, now in my business, that is exactly what we're doing, what that original vision was, and being able to create platforms for people to be able to share their message and to
Right.
make a bigger impact, and also training people to build their own platforms.
Awesome. And I'd like to start back from that area because A lot of times life takes us to other places that we forget about those little Aisha dreams. And we end up doing what we think we need to do to make money, or whatever the circumstances in our life has caused us to be able to do. We may have to go do work in a chemical company because, hey, I have to put money on the food on the table for the kids. That's not what I really want to do, but that's what I have to do.
Yeah.
So we miss all that stuff that Aisha really wanted to do as a kid.
Yeah.
So when you were 14-year-old, I mean, you had a little amazing mind back then. You still have it, but at 14, I just love the child mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I always said, kids just know.
Yeah.
They do. You already had planned your life back then.
But you know what? I really didn't understand the path to get there. And I don't think I'm unique in that. I think that a lot of us know what it is, but because we don't necessarily know how to get there, then we don't give it any energy. It's just like we just think that was just a passing daydream, and we don't think any more about it. But when we allow ourselves to go back to those things, we find that there's something there.
I like to say, when we allow ourselves to be a kid again, we find it.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to achieve it then.
Yeah.
But when we get to an adult, we forget how to be a kid, how to go after the things that we want. Yeah. When we're a kid, you want that toy in that toy in the store. How many times you going, Mama, can I have that? Mama, can I have that? Daddy, can I have that?
Yeah.
You're gonna really fight to get that toy. But as an adult, we lose that fight in some areas.
Yep. Yeah, as kids, if I just keep at it, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I'll get to it sooner or later. But as adults, I think that's pushed out of us. And a lot of it, I think, comes to do with our nurturing as well. Because so often, particularly if you want to do something creative or something that the people around you don't see as practical, then it is, well, you need to be realistic.
Right.
You know, they like to give you those reality checks. Well, that's a fun little hobby. You can do that on the side, but you need to go get a real job.
Right. Did you was there anything in the arts that you wanted to do, or was that just your secondary degree?
I enjoyed acting, but I never wanted to be an actor. So I was in drama class and I enjoyed being in plays, and anything that got me in front of an audience, I liked. You know, even going back to like the Easter programs or, you know, any school program, I wanted the longest speech. You know, I've always been a ham, which my mom will probably tell
you. And when I first met you, you were talking.
I'm always talking.
You were hosting an event when I first met you.
Yeah. I'm this mouth used to get me in trouble.
I bet
when
it
I was
did.
A kid, and now it gets me paid.
Now it gets you paid.
And that's something too. And even for parents, you know, if you've got kids, being able to notice those things in your kids that may
instead
drive
of
you
shutting
crazy.
it down.
Yeah, but don't shut it down.
Right. And that's what we do. They shut it down, and as an adult, we shut it down. So now, like you said, that mouth is getting you paid.
It is.
Tell us about Epiphany Institute.
So the mission behind Epiphany Institute is helping people to connect their purpose and their passion with their profession.
Okay.
And for me, I was able to do that. Even in going to work for a chemical company, I still knew what I was passionate about and what my purpose was, and being able to create a platform that shone that light on people that were doing good work. I was in a chemical company and I had a TV show that recognized employees. And so I was able to live my purpose working for a chemical company. So at that time, it didn't feel like, oh, I put my dream on the back burner. It didn't necessarily look the way I thought it would be packaged, but I was still able to live it. And so I love to help people to find that intersection. And maybe when you were 14, you thought it was going to look this way. And now that you're 55, it can't look that way anymore, but you can still fulfill that purpose. So whether that's in a corporate environment, whether that is starting a business or creating a platform that lets you take that knowledge and wisdom that perhaps you've acquired over the course of your career and being able to share that in a new way.
Right. And in the entertainment industry, because this is an entertainment show, I want you to talk about that, because a lot of times people go into the entertainment industry thinking, oh, I want to be, the first thing they think about is being an actor. And then they get there and they're very observant. Then they realize, I really don't want to be an actor. I want to be a director or a producer or a videographer or something. And your program is something that helped gear them to find out what it is they really want to do.
Yeah. There are just so many ways to be able to fulfill that thing that we want in ways that we may have never imagined. And as technology continues to expand and the world gets smaller, those opportunities continue to multiply.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so, and I think another thing for people who are in entertainment, one of the things that I love to do is to really dispel two myths. And one is that myth of the starving artist.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be broke in order to pursue your passions.
Right.
And the other one is if you pursue your dreams, the money will come. Do what you
Mhm.
love and the money will come.
Mhm.
And that's not true either. So
Mhm.
there are a whole lot of people who
Right.
just think if I stay at it long enough, the money and success will come. But it
Right.
doesn't mean you have to be broke either. It's really about being strategic and creating opportunities. And part of that is in creating a personal brand. But what can you do to take more control over your life and your stability and security while still being able to do what you enjoy
Right.
doing?
I love that. I love that because that hits perfectly for entertainers. You know what? People have coined that starving actors thing, and they're you know what? They're actually making money off of that.
Yes.
Okay, whether it's going to be in a moving company or they're making money by while
Mhm.
they got you thinking, oh, I've got to be a starving actor over here. So Aisha, it seems like a lot of what you do is helping others succeed. Would you put
Yeah.
it that way?
Yeah, that is pretty much it. And for me, it is if I had to narrow it in even further, it's around doing that thing that you feel is connected to your purpose.
Right.
So there are people who want to succeed at any number of things in life because they
Right.
just think that that's what they're supposed to do,
Right.
or this is just the fastest path to money or whatever it is.
Right.
But I love working with people that are like, this is what I feel like I was put
Mm.
here to do. And let's
Right.
make sure that you're able to do that thing before you leave this earth.
Because I believe that if it is your purpose, you're going to give it your all.
Yeah.
You're going to treat it like your baby.
Yeah.
And you're going to find other things. If, let's say, there's other things you want to do, you're going to find things that's aligned with your babies.
Yep.
It's just like saying, I'm going to bring this person in with my clicks or whatever. You're not going to do that. You're going to find other things that's aligned instead of running all over the place.
But that's the problem. Too many people are running all over the place.
Mhm.
So you say with your mouth, this is my purpose, this is the thing I want to do, but you're doing all these other things out here that have nothing, no relation to it at all. And that's where all your energy is going, that's where all your money's going, that's where all your time is going. But if you can really refocus and recenter and figure out how to direct those activities on that main goal, that's when you really start to see some traction.
And that's why they need a person like you, because
Yeah.
a lot of times they have a different type of mouthpiece somewhere else that's telling them, hey, you should do this.
Mhm.
Hey, you should come over and help us with this. And they find themselves forgetting what their purpose is and working on
Yes.
someone else's purpose.
Yes.
That's what the problem is.
Yes, that's a
Yeah.
big problem.
As an entertainer, a lot of times some of us are walking around with fear of not accomplishing our goals in our business. You founded the Startup Life Support. Tell us about this business.
So startup life support, and the name is a bit of a misnomer. It isn't just for startups, but the focus is really allowing you to build the life and the business, and that could be an entertainment business of your dreams without burning out.
Wow.
And there's a lot of buzz right now around kind of this whole team no sleep, and you gotta want it more than you want to breathe, and that's fine for some people.
Right.
I'm 45 years old. I need sleep.
You're right.
I'd like to spend time with people I love. I want to have a little bit of a life.
Right.
And so to be able to say, how do we not neglect the other things in our lives that we say are
Right.
important, but how do we at the same time set concrete goals and have people who can hold us accountable to achieving those goals, and having people that really get it?
Right.
Because when you have a dream that the people around you just can't relate to,
Right.
it can be really frustrating. And this happened to me the other
But that
day.
has to be
Yeah.
someone that's passionate about what they're doing as
Yeah.
well. You, I mean,
Yeah.
you're passionate about this. This is your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to help me, I need to know that this is your purpose and your
Yes.
passion. You're not just telling me, "Hey, Kathy, do this."
No, it's so startup life support, and just to even give you a little more definition around what it is, it's a mastermind and support group kind of rolled into one. So it gives you the opportunity to be able to bounce ideas off of each other. Hey, Kathy,
Mm,
I was thinking about starting this new theater group. What do you think about this? What are some
right.
steps I should take? And sometimes to be able to have conversations with people
Sure.
who have entrepreneurial minds, but
Right.
perhaps they're not doing exactly what you do. That can even give you more of an edge because
Right.
they're able to bring more of an outside in approach to it. Where
Sure.
if we're all thinking the same way because we all do the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we just get one opinion.
That's true.
But
That
being able
is
to
so true.
really tap into that
And there's
energy.
times where you tried to find out an answer for something or how to work around something or find the easiest route to get to something. No one knows the answer, but being a part of a group like that, you never know who succeeded at it. So you're
Yes.
able to be around people, like you said, like-minded people.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. You also have a podcast on purpose.
Yes, On Purpose with Isha Cogborn. And it gives us the opportunity to have conversations with people that are figuring it out. Because, when you start with just an idea, it can seem so far out there and so unrealistic until you hear somebody else that has done it.
Yeah.
And just picking up those little nuggets can help you to figure out, okay, what is my first step? Because I think one of the challenges that we often think we have to have it all figured out,
Right.
and you don't.
Right.
Sometimes it's just knowing what is that first step and then
Right.
being brave enough to take that first step, and then it will lead to the next one. It reminds me of in Indiana Jones. Remember that scene where he had to cross this in that cave, the chasm. He had to take the step before the next one would appear.
Right.
A lot of times that's what it's like for us.
Right. And you know what? A lot of times, and I'm sure you probably have heard it, that a lot of times people believe, oh, I have to have my business plan created before I can do this. But I don't know how to create a business plan, so I'm stuck. So they don't go any further because they
Mhm.
don't know how to create a business plan.
And that's really hard because especially I'm a fan of like the one-page business plans or business model canvas. Business model canvas is a good one because entrepreneurship is really just an experiment.
Mm.
You don't know any of these things that any of these things are true.
Right.
And so if you're just getting started, unless you're building a franchise or something where you can pull data from something else,
Right.
it's all just a guess.
Right.
And so let me put my best assumptions on paper and then go
Right.
test those out.
Right.
And
Because
unless
that
you wanna
may
get
change.
funding.
That may change 6 months from now.
Exactly.
Right. So you're going and you've given up on your dream because you don't know how to create a business plan, or you done paid somebody $500 or $600 to create a business plan
Right.
for you, but then it changes in 6 months. Then you're
Yeah.
paying someone another $500 or $600 to change it again for you.
Yeah. Or thinking, oh, I got to go build this $10,000 website. You don't
Right.
even know who your audience is or what you're
Right.
fully doing yet. So I really believe in being lean and let's just do things quickly to figure it out and
Right.
continually refine. And you can start that. It doesn't matter if you got kids at home, you don't
Mhm.
have a lot of money. I mean, there's always some place that you can start.
Right. That's
And then, yeah,
some good advice for people that are in different fields of
Absolutely.
different industries. I love that.
yeah.
What advice? I like to ask this question. I say it all the time. I like to ask this advice. What advice would you give to a mature woman that wants to start her own business? I mean, she, like you, when she was 14, she had her dreams and she put it off, and she wanted to start a cookie company right now.
Yeah.
But her husband is telling her, oh, nobody wants to buy cookies.
So first thing you got to get around some people that can speak life into you. You don't leave your husband,
Right.
But you need some people who will believe in that dream. But what I would say is the first place to start is to figure out what problem you solve. So that doesn't apply just to consultants or advisors or coaches or people like that, but even somebody who wants to start a cookie company.
Right.
So I can go to the grocery store and I can buy some Oreos for $3.
Uh-huh.
Why would I buy your cookies that are
Right.
$20 a dozen? There's a reason.
Right.
but you've just got to figure out what
Figure out.
that reason is.
Sure.
And that's where, when we help people to really identify their brand and understanding the audience that they want to serve it in the way that I like to say it is, who do you feel uniquely gifted to serve?
Mm.
And so when you can figure that out, then there's a market for what you do. I mean,
Right.
even if we look at Starbucks, I can go to the gas station and pay Circle K $5.99 a month and get a
Mhm.
cup of coffee every single day.
Sure.
Or I can go to Starbucks and
Mhm.
spend that same $5.99 on one cup of coffee.
Right.
But there's a market for both places. And on
Right.
different days, I go to Starbucks and some days I go to Circle K.
Right.
What's the difference? Because some days it's an experience for me.
Right.
I need to
Right.
feel pampered. I need to feel like I did something special for
Right.
myself. So I'm going to go to Starbucks.
Right.
And the other days, I really don't care. I just need to wake up. I'll go to Circle K. So whatever your business is, it's really understanding what is that problem you solve and who are uniquely gifted to serve. And if you figure that out, the rest of it gets a lot easier.
Wonderful. You gave us a lot of meat to chew on today. You know that. But I like to ask this question also. There's a lot of and you said you're on social media. There's a lot of consultants, coaches, this and teachers, this and that business, whatever strategists. What makes Isha Cogborn stand out? What's different about Isha?
One of the things that I am completely grounded in is running your own race, recognizing that you can have the life that you want. You don't have to do it at the same pace that somebody else does. If
Right.
it takes you 10 years and took somebody else 2, that's okay.
Yeah.
And so I work with a lot of people who are busy, who have other priorities, and who are committed to, okay, I'm going to work on it a little bit, but don't try to kill me doing this.
Right.
So we're patient, we're
Right.
the tortoise, not the hare.
Yes.
We're the slow and steady wins the race. And so those are the folks that I tend to gravitate for. If you're looking for overnight results, I'm
Right.
probably not the person to work with, because I'm going
Right.
to ask you, how are you sleeping? Have you
Mhm.
spent time with your kids? What are you doing for self-care? I want to make sure that you're taking care of all of you
Right.
as you build the
Because
business.
I like to say it's like a pie. You're a piece of that pie.
Mm-hmm.
You're a piece of that brand.
Yes.
When we think of a brand, we think people usually think about the business, but they don't realize that's a part of the brand
Yes.
that has to be taken care of just as well as your computer, laptop, all those other things.
Yes.
And it gets neglected.
Yes.
So where can our audience find you?
You can go to ishacogborn.com, and that'll take you to a landing page that lets you know everything that we do. You'll find information about Startup Life Support, about Platform for Purpose, the podcast. Everything is there. And I'd love to hear from you.
Awesome. It was such a pleasure having you here today.
Same here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us here today on Desertwood Day. And we will catch you next time.